Chit.
Chit, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's chit. Here it says chin. Chit. Nava.
Nava.
Lakshana.
Lakshana.
Kriyata.
Kriyata.
Bhagavati.
Bhagavati.
Adha.
Adha.
Tan.
Tam.
Manye.
Manye.
Aditam.
Aditam.
Uttamam.
Uttamam.
Shri Parada Uvacha.
Shri Pralada Uvacha.
Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu.
Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu.
Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu.
Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu.
Smaranam Padasevanam.
Smaranam Padasevanam.
Smaranam Padasevanam.
Smaranam Padasevanam.
Archanam Vandanam Dasyam.
Archanam Vandanam Dasyam.
Archanam Vandanam Dasyam.
Archanam Vandanam Dasyam.
Sakyamatma Nivedanam.
Sakyamatma Nivedanam.
Sakyamatma Nivedanam.
Sakyamatma Nivedanam.
Iti Pumsa. Oh, sorry. We read the whole line. Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu.
Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu.
Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu.
Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu.
Bhakti Chen Navalakshana.
Bhakti Chena Lakshana.
Bhakti Chen Navalakshana.
Bhakti Chena Lakshana.
Kriyate Bhagavati Adha.
Kriyate
Bhagavati Adha. Kriyate Bhagavati Adha.
Kriyate Bhagavati Yatha.
Tanmanyeditamuttamam.
Tanmanyeritamuttamam.
Tanmanyeditamuttamam.
Tanmanyeritamuttamam.
Madhurpuri, I forgot. We were supposed to read the 108 names of Nishingadev, or?
Whenever we have time.
Okay. Can make a break.
I think we listen to Prabhupada first.
Okay. Shri Pralada Uvacha. Prahlad Maharaj said,
Prahlad Maharaj said,
Shravanam,
Shravanam,
hearing,
hearing,
Kirtanam,
Kirtanam,
chanting,
chanting,
Vishnu,
Vishnu,
of Lord Vishnu,
of Lord Vishnu.
not anyone else. Smaranam,
Smaranam,
remembering,
remembering,
Padasevanam,
Padasevanam,
serving the feet,
serving,
Archanam,
Archanam,
offering worship,
offering worship,
the Shodasha Upachara, Upachara. Shodasha Upachara. The 16 kinds of paraphernalia. Vandanam, offering prayers. Dasyam, becoming the servant. Sakyam, becoming the best friend. Atmanivedanam, surrendering everything, what everyone has. Iti, does. Pumsa Arpita, offered by the devotee. Vishnu, unto Lord Vishnu, not to anyone else. Bhakti, devotional service. Chit, if. Navalakshana, possessing nine different processes. Kriyata, one should perform. Bhagavati, and to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Adha, directly or completely. Tat, that. Manye, I consider. Adhitam, learning. Uttamam, topmost. So Prahlad Maharaj said, please repeat after me. Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu. Remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship, with 16 types of paraphernalia,
16 types of paraphernalia,
offering prayers to the Lord,
offering prayers to the Lord,
becoming His servant,
becoming His servant,
considering the Lord one's best friend,
considering the Lord one's best friend,
and surrendering everything unto Him.
and surrendering everything unto Him.
In other words,
In other words,
serving Him with body, mind, and words.
Serving Him with
serving Him body, mind, and words.
These 9 processes
These 9 processes
are accepted as pure devotional service.
are accepted as pure devotional service.
One who has dedicated his life
One who has dedicated his life
to the service of Krishna
to the service of Krishna
through these 9 through these 9 methods
through these 9 methods
should be understood
should be understood
to be the most learned person,
to be the most learned person,
for he has acquired complete knowledge.
for he has acquired complete knowledge.
So I will just make a little small introduction. So what is happening here is that Hiranyakashipu, being a great king, he was not educating his son, Prahlad Maharaj, personally, but he entrusted the education of the little boy, I was going to say devotee boy, but a little boy, to 2 teachers, Sanda and Amarga, and who were both sons of Shukracharya. And these 2 teachers, they were supposed to educate Prahlad Maharaj to be a king. So to be a king, it means to be engaged in politics, diplomacy, management, conquering enemies, organizing armies, showing solidarity, be patriotic, as they say. So this day Hiranyakashipu decided to find out what is the best thing which Prahlad Maharaj has learned in school. And he becomes a little surprised because he was probably expecting to defeat one's enemy in battle, to accumulate wealth, and to attain a prominent position, and etc. These are the goals of life, to attain a life of perfect sense gratification. So he was a little surprised when Prahlad Maharaj answered about the supreme goal of life as Prahlad Maharaj saw it. And Prahlad Maharaj explained here in this very beautiful verse, which is one of the most famous verses in the Bhagavatam, which explains the 9 processes of devotional service in a certain order. And of course, we're going to see in the next verses, which I actually going to jump a little bit to verse. So this was verse 23, 24. We're going to go to verse number 25. So when Hiranyakashipu heard this, he flipped out. I cannot put it more bluntly, because first of all, he was completely shocked, that, a 5-year-old boy is speaking about devotional service to Lord Vishnu and the supreme knowledge, Aditam, Uttamam. He was speaking in such a sophisticated language. And the topic, one thing here is important to know, that Hiranyakashipu, he had a brother who is called Hiranyaksha. And this Hiranyaksha was killed by Lord Varahadev. And the reason for his killing, I think it's important for us to understand today, it's because this Hiranyaksha, he was digging in the earth. Digging for what? What is his name? Hiranya. He was digging for gold. And he was digging so much so that the earth got out of its orbit. It got out of balance. Actually, there is a mundane example which I just read a few days ago, that they make in China, they made a dam, a water dam. And you read this also? And the scientists have measured that the axis of the earth has tilted by a few seconds because of this enormous mass of water. So this story from the Bhagavatam is not, I mean, it's a story, but I mean, there is a logic there. So this Hiranyaksha was digging everything from the earth, you know, especially the gold, and to such an extent that the earth got out of orbit. And then the demigods asked Lord Vishnu to save the earth planet. Bhumi, Bhudevi. The earth planet is also an expansion of the goddess of fortune, an expansion of Lakshmi. We have read previously about these expansions of the goddess of fortune, Shri, Bhu, and Nila, these three potencies of the supreme goddess of fortune. So Krishna saved, and because the Supreme Lord appears always in a form which is perfect for the pastimes he's going to perform, he appeared as a boar, Lord Varahadev. Lord Varahadev is very much worshipped in south of India, in Sri Sampradaya. There is extensive worship of both Lord Hayagriva, who spoke the Vedas, and Varahadev. And of course, sometimes we may have a mundane association that a boar cannot be so beautiful. But when the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in the form of a boar, it's a fascinating, beautiful, effulgent form, fully spiritual. Nothing to do with the material boar. So anyway, so this is a small parenthesis, but this is why Hiranyakashipu hated Vishnu so much, because Vishnu has killed his brother. So therefore he was expecting Prahlad Maharaj, I mean, he's my son, he must hate everybody, which I also hate. This is also the principle in mafia. If you did something to my family, all my descendants will take revenge, and they keep killing each other. You know, in alternating. You kill the father, and then the son kills the other father, and the son of the other kills the other son, and this goes on, you know, sometimes for hundreds of years, this killing. So this is, thank you. So this is a principle of demoniac life. Yeah. So he was very surprised when Prahlad Maharaj didn't hate Vishnu, but he said instead you should serve Lord Vishnu. What is this? So Hiranyakashipu. So this is being narrated by Narada Muni. So Narada Muni says, Nishamyatai sutava cho Hiranyakashipu stada Guru putram uvachedam rusha pashpurita draha. After hearing these words of devotional service from the mouth of his son Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu was extremely angry. His lips trembling, he spoke as follows to Shanda, the son of his guru Shukracharya. Brahma bandhu kimetate vipaksham shayata sataha asaram grahito balo mama nadritya durmate. O unqualified, most heinous son of a Brahmana, you have disobeyed my order and taken shelter of the party of my enemies. Here you see. You have taught this poor boy about devotional service. What is this nonsense? So there is short purport I will read. So in this verse, the word asaram, meaning having no substance, is significant. For a demon, there is no substance in the process of devotional service. But to a devotee, devotional service is the only essential factor in life. Since Hiranyakashipu did not like devotional service, the essence of life, he chastised Prahlad Maharaj's teachers with harsh words. Santihi asadavo loke durmaitas chadna veshina teshamudeti agam kale roga patakinam iva. In due course of time, various types of diseases are manifest in those who are sinful. Similarly, in this world, there are many deceptive friends in false garbs, but eventually, because of their false behavior, their actually enmity becomes manifest. So the purport: being anxious about the education of his boy Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu was very much dissatisfied. When Prahlad began teaching about devotional service, Hiranyakashipu immediately regarded the teachers as his enemies in the garb of friends. In these verses, the words roga patakinam iva refer to disease, which is the most sinful and miserable of the conditions of material life. Janma, Mrityu, Jarya, Vyad. So Janma means birth, Mrityu, death, Jara, old age, and Vyadi, disease. Disease is a symptom of the body of a sinful person. The Smriti Shastras say, Brahmaha Kshayarogi Syat Surapa Shyavadantakaha Svarna Hari Tukunakhi Dushcharma Guru Talpagaha. Murders of Brahmanas are later afflicted by tuberculosis. Drunkards become toothless. Those who have stolen gold are afflicted by diseased nails. And sinful men who have sexual connections with the wife of a superior are afflicted by leprosy and similar skin diseases. So after this, the son of Shukracharya, Hiranyakashipu's spiritual master, said, so this is Shanda talking, "Oh, enemy of King Indra," he wants to create a little better mood by acknowledging that Hiranyakashipu is the enemy. So, don't think that we don't understand that Indra is our enemy and Vishnu. No. We know. O son of Shukracharya, Hiranyakashipu's spiritual master said, "O enemy of King Indra, O king, whatever your son Prahlad has said was taught not to him by me or anyone else. His spontaneous devotional service is naturally developing in him. Therefore, please give up your anger and do not unnecessarily accuse us. It's not good to insult a Brahmana in this way." So they are Brahmanas, so they're speaking the truth. They're saying that we didn't teach anything. He knew this all the time. Because Prahlad was in the school already, they were having kirtan and everything. So they must have noticed that something is going on here. But they didn't interfere. They were very modern. They think children should do whatever they like. So let them chant Hare Krishna. Just think sarcastic. So Shri Narada Muni continued. When Hiranyakashipu received this reply from the teacher, he again addressed his son Prahlad. Hiranyakashipu said, "You rascal, most fallen of our family, if you have not received this education from your teachers, where you have gotten it?" So in the purport, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that devotional service is actually bhadrasati, not abhadrasati. In other words, knowledge of devotional service can be neither inauspicious nor contrary to etiquette. To learn devotional service is the duty of everyone. Therefore, the spontaneous education of Prahlad Maharaj is supported as auspicious and perfect. So, this discussion goes on here, and Prahlad Maharaj is giving very beautiful instructions about devotional service. So, after Prahlad Maharaj also speaks here a very interesting verse, which is Shri Prabhupada Uvacha Matirna Krishna Bharatos Fatova Mito Vipadiyet Griha Vratanam Adanta Gobir Vishitata Mishram Puna Punash Charvita Charvananam. This is a famous verse within the Vaishnava culture. So Prahlad Maharaj replied, because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress toward hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclinations toward Krishna are never aroused, either by the instruction of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. Actually, there is a word here in this purport which means congregation. Where is this? This is mitha. So alone they cannot become Krishna conscious. With others they cannot become Krishna conscious, and not by receiving good instruction they cannot become Krishna conscious. So they're in a very hopeless situation. Why? Because they are addicted to materialistic life and making progress towards hellish conditions. So to go a little bit back to the pastime. So after hearing Prahlad Maharaj speak all these verses, and I'm surprised he didn't interrupt him, so angry as he was. So after Prahlad Maharaj has spoken in this way and become silent, Hiranyakashipu, blinded by anger, threw him off his lap and onto the ground. Indignant and angry, I think I have to sit in a different position. Indignant and angry, his reddish eyes like molten copper, Hiranyakashipu said to his servants, "O demons, take this body away from me. This boy away from me. He deserves to be killed. Kill him as soon as possible. This boy Prahlad is the killer of my brother, for he has given up his family to engage in devotional service to the enemy Lord Vishnu like a menial servant. Although Prahlad is only 5 years old, even at this young age he has given up his affectionate relationship with his father and mother. Therefore he is certainly untrustworthy. Indeed, it is not at all believable that he will behave well toward Vishnu. Although a medicinal herb being born in the forest does not belong to the same category as a man, if beneficial it is kept very carefully." I don't understand. Although a medicinal herb being born in the forest does not belong to the same category as man, if beneficial, it is kept very careful. Okay. Medicinal herbs should be kept very careful. Similarly, if someone outside one's family is favorable, he should be given protection like a son. On the other hand, if a limb of one's body is poisoned by disease, it must be amputated, so that the rest of the body may live happily. Similarly, even one's own son, if unfavorable, must be rejected, although born of one's own body. So Hiranyakashipu hears, spewing out his anger and his frustration. And because Prahlad Maharaj is such a pure and innocent devotee, Hiranyakashipu is asking him, when the discussion progresses, and it's explained in Bhagavatam, in other places, but I mean, where is this God? You're always talking about God. Where can we see God? Just show me. This is also a normal, a common argument for the materialistic people, for the atheistic people. Show me God. But I mean, I cannot show you a wave. There is so many things I cannot show you. If you want to go, Prabhupada used to give this example because he lived in those days. If you want to see President Nixon, some of you probably don't remember Nixon. It was in the 70s. It was the president of America. I mean, just go to the White House and say, I want to see Nixon. You think they will let you? Forget it. And he's just the president of one country. So how can you make such a request that you want to see God? So therefore, Srila Prabhupada makes the point that in order to see God, there must be some qualification. It's not that anybody can see God. And what is the qualification? The qualification is bhakti. So the qualification to see Krishna, or in this case Nrsingadev, is to have bhakti in one's heart, devotion to the Lord. So anyway, so Nrsingadev was there, because Nrsingadev was always present. One of the characteristics of a pure devotee is that a pure devotee can always see Krishna. Is always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. Actually, there is one interesting example which is given by Rupa Goswami, which may seem maybe a little awkward, but it's given by Rupa Goswami, so we can repeat. If a woman, a married woman, if she has a lover, which is not uncommon nowadays, they go around in the house and they do everything very nicely. They cook, they clean, they behave very nicely, they're very pleasant. But while doing all of this towards her family and her husband, what is she thinking about? She's thinking about her lover. So Rupa Goswami gives this example. So in the same way, a devotee may be engaged in so many activities in this world. We have to work to take care of this body, and we have to take care of our family and our children. But within ourselves, we should always be remembering Krishna, or if possible, if we have attained that stage, we should always be seeing Krishna. So Prahlad Maharaj is a very advanced devotee, so he's seeing Krishna all the time. So when Prahlad, when Hiranyakashipu got really angry, he asked Prahlad Maharaj, I mean, you're talking about God, but where is he? Where is he? And Prahlad started to look at the pillar in this palace of Hiranyakashipu. And Hiranyakashipu was so angry, so he took a sword. And because Prahlad Maharaj, he could see Lord Nrsingadev inside the pillar. And Lord Nrsingadev is a transcendental form, so he can be inside the pillar. So Hiranyakashipu took his sword and cut off this pillar. Hiranyakashipu was very powerful. It was the most powerful man in this universe. Even the demigods were afraid and subservient of him. No question of anybody defeating him. So when he cut this pillar, Lord Nrsingadev came out. This form of the deity which is in the altar, this is Ugra Nrsinga, not Prahlad Nrsinga or Yoga, no, Ugra Nrsinga. So this form of Lord Nrsingadev came out. And this is a very special form. It's called Narsimha. Nara means a person, a human, and Simha means lion. So Narsimha, we see also in that picture, is half man, half lion. And as we mentioned before, in the case of Lord Varahadev, Krishna always appears in a form which is perfect for the goals the Lord wants to accomplish. So this form of the Lord, it's an eternal form, but manifested itself for the protection of his devotees. And I actually have read that in generally we should not ask Krishna for protection. We should ask Krishna for pure devotional service. But to Lord Nrsingadev, we can ask for protection. So Lord Nrsingadev's special feature is that he gives protection to his devotees. And of course, he's not going to tolerate that his devotee is going to be killed by one of the greatest demons in creation. So the rest of the story is that Lord Nrsingadev has a fight with Hiranyakashipu, and being in this mood of a lion, in Bhagavatam further, when this killing is described, it's the Bhagavatam really gives the feeling of this almost destruction of the universe. Lord Nrsingadev, his hair was touching the clouds, and with his roar, all the planets were shaking. It's very, very impressive. So finally, because he appears in this form of a lion, he took Hiranyakashipu on his knees and he tore him apart with his nails. This form also is connected with a special blessing which Hiranyakashipu had received from Lord Brahma, that he could not be killed by a human. No human could kill him. He got his blessing. He got also the blessing that he could not be killed by an animal. He got the blessing that he should not be killed during the day, during the night, on the water, on air, or on earth. He got many blessings. But one thing which is funny is that demons, they always miss something. Devotees also sometimes forget things, but demons, they miss always something essential which leads to their defeat. And I can give a funny example. There was this churning of the milk ocean. So this is related with another pastime of the Lord, it's kurma. And they were going to churn the milk ocean. So they had kurma, gigantic form of a turtle, and they had a mountain on top of kurma, and then they were supposed to churn to create nectar. Like in the same way as you make butter out of cream, you churn it, you have some movement where you beat in air, so incorporate air in the butter, and it becomes in the cream, and gradually becomes butter. So they were going to churn the milk ocean in order to create nectar. So Lord Vishnu said, the demigods, he was directing the operation, so the demigods, you should hold in the head. There was a snake called Vasuki who offered itself to be as a rope. So Lord Vishnu said, okay, the demigods, you hold the head, and the demons, you hold the tail. Demons immediately, nah, we're not going to hold the tail. The demigods should hold the tail because they think the head is superior. So Lord Vishnu said, okay, just you hold the head. So what happened? Because Vasuki is a snake, or I think a kind of a dragon, which also there is also this concept of dragons. I don't know if they existed or not, but this concept is very clear. So these dragons, when you're squeezing them, so the head was emanating flames, So all the demons which were holding the head, they all got burned. They were completely black from this fire emanating from the mouth of Vasuki. So they thought, we're going to get the best. But sorry Baba, you got burned. So So also here in the same case, Hiranyakashipu, he was thinking that he is completely covered. No animal, no human. He also probably asked for demigods and apsaras and gandharvas. Nobody can kill him. But he did not figure out that it could be a form of the Supreme Lord, which is half a man and half a lion. Also, this pastime of killing Hiranyakashipu happened in the dusk, when the day is turning into night. So it was neither day nor night. It was in between. It was not on the water, it was not on the earth, it was not in the air, but it was on the knees of Lord Nrsimhadev. So in this way, this demon got destroyed, and the Supreme Lord, who appears to give pleasure to his devotees, once again showed that he will never leave his devotees alone. He's always protecting them, he's always by their side, he's always assisting them. Whatever dangers happen, the Supreme Lord is always there to protect us. So this is the great lesson of the appearance of Lord Nrsimhadev. I don't know how we shall proceed. There is 3 options: questions, reading together, and Mother Puri Prabhu had a prayer. I don't know if it's 108 or 1,000 names of Vishnu. Huh?
We saved that one.
No, I think it would be very nice, Mother Puri. Yeah. I think it would be really nice. I mean, it's pure Shravanam.
It's powerful.
Pure Shravanam, and this Lord Nrsimhadev in this modern society will need protection. Is there any questions regarding Lord Nrsimhadev? Good. So, thank you very much.
I just want to add a little bit, extrapolate on what you said very nicely, that actually it shows how you cannot outsmart God. Because materialists, they think that, I can make this arrangement, that arrangement. Like in India, so they are fond of balancing papa and punya and thinking that they're okay. But they are not okay, because you'll never manage to count all your sins and transgressions. So, and you cannot, God is not cheap, so you cannot just make some arrangement and be all right. But surrender, that's kind of the only thing, the only coin which we can pay towards that.
I have a small comment, if that's okay. Yeah. Because it's the appearance of Lord Nrsimhadev today. He was mentioning Hiranyaksha, the brother of Hiranyakashipu. It is stated in the Shastras that God has 2 different kinds of anger. I mean, 2 predominant different kinds of anger, which is very interesting to discuss when it comes to the case of the brothers Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Because one type of anger Vishnu was displaying in his fight with his brother, because as always the enemies of Vishnu, they are very puffed up and they want to hurl insults and criticism and threatening, So that's not very nice to hear. So of course Varahadev was very angry because of that, because he was insulted, But the anger of Nrsimhadev was very different, because he wasn't really insulted himself. We know from Shastra that Vishnu considers his devotees more dear to him than his own life. So when his devotee is threatened or insulted, then Vishnu gets really, really furious. So that was the type of anger that Nrsimhadev displayed, that made the whole universe tremble, and nobody could pacify him. Not even Shiva was there. He's the greatest Vaishnava. No demigod, nobody. So they sent little Prahlad. Only the devotee who has been insulted and threatened can give forgiveness to the one who did it. So, as we learn from the Bhagavatam, little Prahlad was actually pleading to Nrsingadev on behalf of his sinful father, and that finally pacified him. So, we understand the saying that Vishnu says somewhere else, that if somebody says that he's my devotee, he's actually not my devotee. But he who says he is a devotee to my devotee, he is my devotee. We can learn from this pastime that to commit offenses against the Vaishnavas is the one thing that actually devastates, completely destroys the Bhakti Lata Bija. Because then you will be exposed to the number one magnitude of Lord Vishnu's anger. Okay. Nrsingadev ki jai. Ah yes, Sahasranam. Okay, sorry. Yeah, well, I get too much pain in the body. I can just move here. Thank you. Should we distribute this?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Maybe you can give this out. Mina glasögon här.
Kanske någon här.
Nej, det löser sig. So we should try and chant together in unison the 108 names of Lord Vishnu. Just an invocation first. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namastejas Tejase Avir Bhava Vajranakha Vajradanstra Karmashayam Randhaya Tamograsa Om Swaha Abhayam Atmani Bhuyishtha Om Kshaum Om Narasimhaya Namaha Om Mahasimhaya Namaha Om Divyasimhaya Namaha Om Mahabalaya Namaha Om Ugrasimhaya Namaha Om Mahadevaya Namaha Om Stambhajaya Namaha Om Ugralochanaya Namaha Om Raudraya Namaha Om Sarvadbhutaya Namaha Om Shrimate Namaha Om Yoganandaya Namaha Om Trivikramaya Namaha Om Haraye Namaha Om Kolahalaya Namaha Om Chakrave Namaha Om Vijayaya Namaha Om Jayavardhanaya Namaha Om Panchanannaya Namaha Om Param Brahmane Namaha Om Hagoraya Namaha Om Ghora Vikramaya Namaha Om Jvalam Mukhaya Namaha Om Jvalam Maline Namaha Om Mahajvalaya Namaha Om Mahaprabhave Namaha Om Nitilakshaya Namaha Om Sahasrakshaya Namaha Om Durnirikshaya Namaha Om Pratapanaya Namaha Om Mahadamstraya Namaha Om Yuda Pragyaya Namaha Om Chandra Kopine Namaha Om Sadashivaya Namaha Om Hiranyakashipu Yudvamsine Namaha Om Daitya Dananva Bhajananajan Namaha
Om Guna Bhadraya Namaha, Om Mahabhadraya Namaha, Om Bala Bhadraya Namaha, Om Subhadrakaya Namaha, Om Karalaya Namaha, Om Vikaralaya Namaha, Om Vikarte Namaha, Om Sarvakartrikaya Namaha, Om Shishumaraya Namaha, Om Trilokatmane Namaha, Om Ishaya Namaha, Om Sarveshwareshwaraya Namaha, Om Vibhave Namaha, Om Bhairava Dambaraya Namaha, Om Divyaya Namaha, Om Achyutaya Namaha, Om Kavaye Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Alakshajaya Namaha, Om Aksharaya Namaha, Om Sarvaya Namaha, Om Vanamaline Namaha, Om Vanapradaya Namaha, Om Vishvambharaya Namaha, Om Adbhutaya Namaha, Om Bhavyaya Namaha, Om Shri Vishnave Namaha, Om Purushottamaya Namaha, Om Anagastraya Namaha, Om Nakashtraya Namaha, Om Surya Jyotaye Namaha, Om Sureshwaraya Namaha, Om Sahasra Bhave Namaha, Om Sarvagyaya Namaha, Om Sarvasiddhi Pradaya Kaya Namaha, Om Vajradam Shraya Namaha, Om Vajranakaya Namaha, Om Mahanandaya Namaha, Om Param Tapaya Namaha, Om Sarva Yantra Kapaya Namaha, Om Sarva Yantra Viduratmaya Namaha, Om Sarva Yantratmakaya Namaha, Om Avyaktaya Namaha, Om Suvyaktaya Namaha, Om Bhaktavatsalaaya Namaha, Om Vaishaka Shukla Bhutotaya Namaha, Om Saranagatan Vatsalaya Namaha, Om Udarakirtaya Namaha, Om Punyatmane Namaha, Om Mahatmane Namaha, Om Chandra Vikramaya Namaha, Om Vedatraya Namaha, Om Prapujaya Namaha, Om Bhagavate Namaha, Om Parameshwaraya Namaha, Om Shri Vatsamkaya Namaha, Om Shri Nivasaya Namaha, Om Jagat Vyapaya Namaha, Om Jaganmayaya Namaha, Om Jagatpalaya Namaha, Om Jagannathaya Namaha, Om Mahakagaya Namaha, Om Dvirupa Bhrite Namaha, Om Paramatmane Namaha, Om Param Jyotaye Namaha, Om Nirgunaya Namaha, Om Nirikesharine Namaha, Om Paratatvaya Namaha, Om Param Dhamaya Namaha, Om Satchitananda Vigrahaya Namaha, Om Lakshmi Nrishinghaya Namaha, Om Sarvatmane Namaha, Om Dhiraya Namaha, Om Pralada Palakaya Namaha, Jai Nishinga, Shri Nishinga, Jaya Jaya Nishinga Deva, Praladesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma, Brihma, Namaste Narasimhaya, Praladalada Dayine, Hiranya Kashipur Vaksha, Shilatanka Nakalaye, Ito Nishinga, Parato Nishingo, Yato Yato Yamitato Nishinga, Bahir Nishingo, Hridaye Nishingo, Nishinga Madim Sharanam Prapade, Tavakara Kamala Varena Kam Abhuta Shingam, Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam, Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jagadisha Hare. Om Harim Ksharam Ugraviram Mahavishnum Jvalantam Sarvatomukam Nrsingham Vishanam Bhadram Mrityum Mrityum Namamyam. Om. Wow. Hare Krishna. What's next?
Bossa.
Trying to work out it is today here, and if it is okay, we can do little art and maybe Prabhu, Holy Prabhu, the Narsimha with Harmona, the prayer.
Du känner att jag inte kan det jag har.
Alltså det är samma. Om du är inspirerad så. Ilya, where shall this go?